Man gave his seat to the pregnant woman, but then realized she was not actually a woman. James boarded the crowded bus after a long day. The only empty seat was near the front, but before he could sit down, he noticed a pregnant woman standing nearby. She looked tired, holding on to a pole for balance. Feeling it was the right thing to do, James smiled and offered his seat. "Please, you can sit here," he said. She hesitated, then nodded and sat down, muttering a quiet, "Thank you." As the bus moved along, James stood near the back, glancing occasionally at the woman. Something about her seemed unusual, her posture, her voice, and the way she adjusted her scarf. Suddenly, the woman shifted in her seat, and James noticed wires peeking out from under her coat. His heart raced as the realization hit him. It wasn't a pregnant woman, it was a man in disguise, and he was carrying a bomb. Panicking, James screamed, "There's a bomb! Everyone get off the bus!" Chaos broke out as soon as James shouted his warning. Passengers panicked, pushing and shouting as they rushed to the doors. The driver quickly pulled over and opened the doors, letting people escape. The disguised man stood up, holding his fake belly tightly to keep it in place. His voice was no longer soft. Instead, he shouted in a deep, commanding tone, "Nobody move!" The remaining passengers froze in fear. James stayed near the driver, whispering to him, "Call the police now." The driver nodded and pressed the emergency button, his hands shaking. The man with the bomb began pacing back and forth, yelling at everyone to stay seated. The tension on the bus was unbearable. Within minutes, police cars surrounded the bus. Officers used loudspeakers to demand that the man surrender. The sound of their voices filled the air, but the man refused to give up. James kept himself near the back of the bus, staying as calm as possible. His mind raced as he thought about how to escape if things got worse. He watched the man carefully, waiting for the right moment. Suddenly, one of the officers outside shouted loudly, distracting the man for a split second. Another officer took the chance to rush onto the bus. In one quick move, the officer tackled the man to the ground. The fake belly fell off during the struggle, landing on the floor with a loud thud. Wires and explosives spilled out, confirming James's worst fears. The bomb squad arrived and carefully disarmed the device. Meanwhile, the remaining passengers were safely evacuated. James stood outside, trembling as he watched the scene unfold. He felt a mix of relief and disbelief. His quick reaction and decision to warn everyone had saved lives. The disguised man was taken away by the police, and the bus was secured. What started as a simple act of kindness had turned into a terrifying and dangerous situation.